What's up, everybody? So welcome back. We got something to talk about that I think is absolutely crazy and at the same time just strange and all by itself. So we're going to be talking about Snapchat and its most recent update that I think is just absolutely weird and pretty much Snap Inc. What the fudge are you guys doing? Seriously, what are you guys doing? I mean, yes, there's been a bit of controversy when Snap decided to go ahead and change the layout of Snapchat. Some people like it, some people hate it. That's the way the world works. Not everyone's going to love it. Personally, for me, I was for the changes that Snap Inc. made to Snapchat. I think it was more intuitive the way that they decided to set it up. I mean, it made more sense to me. You know, you had your main layout of the app itself, and you swipe to the left and you had all your chat threads from all your Snapchat friends, and at the same time their icon would glow, so you would have like a blue ring around it letting you know that they had stories basically. So they stitched a bunch of snaps together to make a story of the day. Tap it, you can view their story. People had an uprising and didn't like that version of it because it took stories away from where you swiped off to the right, where it had Discover. It had a bunch of stories from like main sponsored people like MTV, Vice, etc. And then you had your Snapchat friend stories there prior. To me, I think that the new UI cleaned it up. It cleaned it up because if I wanted to look at things such as Vice or MTV or any of those, branded companies on Snapchat, I can swipe to the right. I can see all those there. If I wanted to just focus on my Snapchat friends and see their stories, it was in the chat section where basically if I replied to one of their snaps that I seen, it would be in a thread. We can chat it up, okay? It was intuitive and smarter in my opinion. Obviously, my opinion is subjective and it doesn't really matter compared to everyone else out there. But now, because Snap seems like they're so confused, they have no idea what they're doing now. Because now they brought back where you can see your friends' stories if you swipe to the right where the Discover section is. So underneath, you'll have all these different things you can discover from different various sponsored channels on Snapchat. And then above it, you'll have your subscriptions, and above that, you'll have your friends. But then if you swipe off to the left in the chat threads, you can also view your friends' stories there. So now, why is it that it's in two different sections to actually see this? This is going to throw a bit of more confusion, as you already know that from the very first time that Snapchat changed the UI, it confused a lot of people and made them hate the app. So by doing this, it's going to confuse them even more because now you can see your friends' stories on two sections of the Snapchat layout. That is just weird. People are going to like things and people are going to dislike things just as much as people went and complained and went on a tyrant rant about how Snapchat looks ugly and the new user interface was just garbage. You had people who supported it too and people that actually liked the cleaned up look of it. It was very intuitive. It was very simple to use. For me, it was simple. I've never grasped the reason why people thought it was so confusing. It was very simple. Very simple. Swipe to the left. There's all your chats, all your chat threads. There's all your friends. If they have a blue ring around them, it means they got a story. Tap it, you can view their story. If they don't have a blue ring around them, obviously they didn't have a story. Swipe off to the right, and you can see things like Vice or TechCrunch or whatever, stories is out there from branded companies that you can subscribe to. And it was very simple that way. It really was. This new version of Snapchat, the way it looks now, is just completely crazy and it's uncalled for. Snap, you're being a bunch of sissies. You're letting everyone bully you over. And yes, while people say, well, it's the users that make Snapchat what it is, I got you. Yes, the power is in your hand. But let's use that power for something better than a UI look. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, Snapchat still does what it does. You take photos, you take little snippets, you can make a story, you can send it to a friend. Simple. Still does that, and it does it very well. So well, in fact, that other brands out there, such as Instagram, continue to bite off of Snapchat. So, while a lot of people are like, Snapchat is dying, they lost X amount of dollars in revenue, their net worth has plummeted, reality stars and, superstars and musicians and actors have built on Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat has done some dumb things, but let's not absolve. Facebook's done some dumb things, and you don't see people really going on a tyrant raid about Facebook and all the idiotic things that Facebook's done. I just think it's just because people, like Snapchat is too transparent. People know they hold the power with this application, and so they figured that what they want out of an application, they're going to force Snapchat to implement and do. But let me say this. If you have a great idea for a social media network that is like Snapchat, build your own and see how far it goes. That's what I would say to anyone out there who's very pushy and thinks that Snapchat should build something completely for them. If it's completely for you, you have an idea, run that idea. Why rely on an already established company to do it for you? Do it yourself and then see how well it runs. Maybe you might be the next social media giant sensation. I'm just saying.